Good morning, student. Welcome to the next section of our history, class 7, Akbar. Children, this is our final term course, so we'll continue. Please open your books with me to page number 81, Akbar, lesson 9. Introduction. Sher Shah Suri died in AD 1545. His successors were incompetent and weak, which gave the opportunity to Humayun to recapture the throne of Delhi and re-establish the Mughal rule in India. However, he died in an accident the next year and AD 1556. His 13-year-old son Akbar, who was born while Humayun was still in exile, became the new Mughal emperor with Bahram Khan as his regent. Abdul Fattah Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, more famously known as Akbar the Great, was born in AD 1542 in a Rajput fort at Umarkot in Sindh, now Pakistan, where his parents were given refuge by the Hindu king. Akbar became the greatest ruler of India. He was the third Mughal emperor who regained from for 50 years from AD 1556 to AD 605. Bahram Khan helped him to consolidate and expand his empire for 4 years. Akbar was under Bahram Khan's protection and then he assumed power. Akbar's conquest. When Akbar became the king, the Mughal empire, including Kabul, Kandahar, Delhi, and parts of Punjab, Afghan Sultan Adil Shah was aiming to become the king of Delhi. His general Himu led the Afghan army and captured Delhi and Agra. Bahram Khan decided to fight Himu, who had a bigger army and also had the support of Rajput kings who considered Mughals as outsiders. Once again, a battle was fought at Panipat and Himu was captured and killed. Akbar took to consolidate his power and extend his rule across entire India. All Afghan claimants to the throne were either killed or made to leave the country, and then Akbar started to expand his empire. His important conquests were conquering Malwa, Ajmer, and Ghanta and annexing these territories to the Mughal Empire, capturing of Lahore and Multan and the Gwalior fort. Rajput territories. Having secured most of the central India, Akbar turned his attention to Rajput territories. Rajput kings were brave and fearless and presented a major threat to his supremacy. He used force and diplomatic way to win Rajputana in the following way. Ajmer and Nagaur were already under Mughal control. He used marriage alliances with ruling families and created diplomatic ties with many Rajput kingdoms. Mewar was unwilling to submit to the Mughals. Akbar attacked its capital Chittor in AD 1567. The king Uday Singh fled to the mountain, but Prince Rana Pratap refused to give up. He moved to higher mountainous region and continued to fight to save his territory from the Mughal army. But Chittor was finally captured by the Mughals, and so was Ranthambore. Most of was now under Akbar, but Rana Pratap and some of the Rajput refused to submit to Akbar and continued their battle against the Mughals. Finally, the Mughal army under the leadership of Raja Man Singh of Amber fought a battle with Rana Pratap in Haldi Ghati in AD 1576. The valiant Rajput prince could not stand for very long against the huge army and had to accept defeat. Rana Pratap managed to escape and later recover few territories, but not Chittor. Rana Pratap is still honored in Rajasthan for his bravery and fearlessness. He is a symbol of Rajput courage and honor. In AD 1572, Akbar conquered Gujarat and later Bengal was annexed to the Mughal Empire. Then he focused on the Himalaya region and conquered Kabul, Sindh, Kandahar, Kashmir, and Baluchistan. With the entire north and central territories under his control, conquering Deccan was his next priority. Deccan conquest. Akbar overcame a strong opposition and captured Ahmednagar. He tightened his control by subduing Bra- Bur- Bharu- Bharumpur, capital of Kandesh, and the formidable fortress of Asirgarh. In the period of over 40 years, Akbar was successful in creating a huge empire which encompassed the area from Kabul in the west to Bengal in the east and from Punjab in the north to Kandesh in the south. Akbar's administration. Babur and Humayun did not rule along enough to do much in administration. Akbar was an excellent administrator and the first Mughal ruler who was born in India. His administrative style was a fusion of Indian, Persian, and Afghan central administration. All powers were vested in the king. He was the head of judiciary, administration, military, and religion. He set up a central administration as followed by earlier king of the Delhi Sultanate. He believed that the conduct of the king was the reason for the success and efficiency of the state. He took all important decisions regarding appointments and dismissal of all officers. He decided the compensation and promotion. His word was the law. Councils of Ministers. Akbar had a council of ministers that helped him with the administrative work and with the smooth running of the state. Wazir or Diwan. He was similar to a chief minister. He was responsible for revenue and finance of the state. Valki. He was the prime minister and head of nobility. He, however, Vakil. He did not head the administration. The Vakil was less effective as a Wazir. Mir Baksh. He was the head of the intelligence and was responsible for payments of officer. Chief Qazi. He was the chief judge. He had more officers who reported to him. The main ones were Mir Atish, Artillery Atish, Daroga-e Tahsil, head of Royal Mint, and Daroga-e Dhak, head of post. Dak, Daroga-e Dak. Mir Saman, he was responsible for the royal household. Akbar met with his ministers regularly in the royal court of Diwan-e-Khas. It was a private audience hall which was not open to public. Akbar believed that the king was responsible for the well-being of his subject and held an open court or Diwan-e-Am. Anybody could go with a problem or complaint and get justice from the king. So children, we'll end here. We'll meet in the next part of the video. Thank you children.